Charini, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vachatya Deshadarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Om Vishnu Vada Krishna Krishna Udili Simile Jinadaga Swami Nidinavine Namacharya Patagi Guru Pudani Gurida Damane Ramatarini Yoda Sami Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Mataji Ano Shivana Prabhu Ano.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu Ji, Dandat Pranam. Hari Bol.
Jai Shri Prabhu, Pranam. Today, oh Prabhu?
Yes, election.
Okay. Only for elect, not all for all.
Really?
Here, Prabhuji already is getting ready to go. Not
okay.
all.
No, but all private also holiday. That is what they declare. Even banks.
Yeah.
Prabhuji is actually he's getting ready from 10 to he's having 4.
Ministry is holiday.
That is hotel this thing related. So
yeah, maybe they are not. Yeah.
Anyway, I see. Thank you, Prabhuji, for joining.
Welcome, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. From India, right? Or you bike?
No, I came back. Came back.
Came back. It was okay.
Yes. Came back last Saturday night.
Saturday night. Okay. Sarvamadaji, somebody joined and left. Who was that? You just noticed now? Sarvamadaji?
Sudarshana Prabhuji.
No.
Yes.
Out time though. I mean, okay. Anyway, thank you, Shivana Prabhuji. So we are reading. Yesterday we have completed 6.1.54. So today we will start with verse number 55. New canto, new chapter. So this is verse number 55. I will read, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji, please proceed. Yes.
Okay, verse number 55. Yesha prakriti sangena purushasya viparyayah asid sa eva nachidadisha sangat viliyade. Yesha prakriti sangena purushasya viparyayah asid sa eva Najidadisha Sangad Viliyade. Translation purported by His Divine Grace Abhayacharana Ravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Since the living entity is associated with the material nature, he is in an awkward position, but if in the human form of life, he is taught how to associate with the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his devotee, this position can be overcome. Translation once more. Since the living entity is associated with the material nature, he is in an awkward position. But if in the human form of life, he is taught how to associate with the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his devotee, this position can be overcome. Purport. The word Prakriti means material nature, and Purusha may also refer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If one wants to continue his association with Prakriti, the female energy of Krishna, and be separated from Krishna by the illusion that he is able to enjoy Prakriti. Okay. He must continue in his conditional life. If he changes his consciousness, however, and associate with the Supreme original person, yani Purusham Shashwata, or with his associates, he can get out of the entanglement of material nature. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 4.9, Janma Karmecha me divyam evam yo vetti tattvaha. One must simply understand the Supreme Person, Krishna, in terms of his form, name, activities, and pastimes. This will keep one always in the association of Krishna. Tyaktadeham punarjanma naidimam edi so Arjuna. Thus, after giving up his gross material body, one accepts not another gross body, but a spiritual body in which to return home back to Godhead. Thus, one ends the tribulation caused by his association with the material energy. In summary, the living entity is an eternal servant of God, but he comes to the material world and is bound by material conditions because of his desire to load it over matter. Liberation means giving up this false consciousness and reviving one's original service to the Lord. This return to one's original life is called mukti, as confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam. Muktir hitvayata rupam swarupena vyavastita. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you, Srimad Prabhu.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, there was a break. I was not able to attend for a few weeks. So today I got the opportunity to associate with all of you. And we are reading very, very interesting chapter, which is giving very much hope. How much is the glory of the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Yes. So even though a person was very sinful like AJÂMILA, but how he is becoming delivered by the Vishnu Dutas. Yes. So this is a very, very hope-giving chapter for every sadhaka, that if he takes shelter of the holy name of the Supreme Lord, whatever may be past, we can, they say that there is a saying, every sinner has a future and every saint has a past. So there is hope for every jivatma if they will take the shelter of the holy name of the Lord. So that is the main theme of this chapter, the history of life of AJÂMILA. And this is actually connected to the previous chapter, which is canto, no, previous, yes, fifth canto, right, Prabhu?
Yes,
Fifth
yes.
canto, last chapter, there is a discussion about the various hellish planets, and Parishit Maharaj is inquiring about how a person can actually get relieved from all this. Yeah, from all these tribulations. So let me share this Bhagavata Subodhini. Maybe we can see like what is there in the sixth canto. So here, sixth canto, there's a lot of discussion between Parishit Maharaj and Sukadeva Goswami, the initial
This
discussion.
one also, it is like that. After that,
Yeah.
Vishnu Dudas and Yamadudas are talking.
Yamadutas. Now, actually, Yamadutas are discussing, right, Prabhu?
Yeah.
We
Which
can
we
see
read
here.
is Yamaduda. Yamaduda.
Conversation between Yamadutas and Vishnu Dutas. And here we can see that, especially this verse number, what we see here is actually the reply from Yamadutas, right?
Yeah.
Yes, the 40 to 55, the Yamadutas are replying.
Yes.
Speaking. Yes, so here we can see 55. Yes, probably we can share the same screen. We know the Prabhu. I think this is all very self-explanatory now. How AJÂMILA was sinful, and how AJÂMILA did a lot of sinful activities, and at the time of death, he chanted his name of his son's name, Narayana, accidentally, but without any offenses. So that's why without any offenses is so powerful, because it is said that even one time if we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it's so powerful, but with offenses is only the problem. So he chanted without offenses unintentionally. So the Vishnu Dutas arrived at the scene. And Prabhu, you can share the screen. Actually. Yeah. Okay. You can share today's verse.
Yes.
So today, actually, this is from verse number 55. where how Jivatma can get relieved from bondage and get liberated. So now basically the Jivatma, the spirit soul, we are reading this again and again because we are always thinking that without spiritual knowledge, we are the body. So here, the living entity is associated with material nature. Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashaha. That means we are actually always associating with the material nature. And material nature means the three modes, Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna. As we are associating, accordingly our thought process, our character, our habit, everything is molded by our guna. Suppose I am associated with Sattva guna, then I become very sattvic person. My thoughts, my words, my actions, my behavior, everything becomes sattvic. And if I am associating with Rajasic, Rajoguna means with Rajasic people, with Rajasic things, and with Rajasic environment, then I become basically Rajasic. So here that is what it is said that living entity is associated with material nature. And whatever these three gunas, even though Sattvic guna is very good, but still it is bound within the cycle of birth and death. Even it is a good guna, but it is still binding the Jivatma within the material world. But however, Sattvic guna is only one good advantage is if you are in Sattvic guna, we can easily take up spiritual life. So here it is said that since the living entity is associated with material nature, he is in an awkward position. But if in the human form of life, he is taught how to associate with the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his devotee. Taught means training. So basically, without training, it is not easy that we can transcend these gunas. Very difficult. Even living, every living entity means not only human beings, even the animals, like they say cow is in Sattvic guna, lion is in Rajasic guna, and the camel, monkey, they are all in Tamo guna. So all the living entities, they are associated with particular type of guna. So they are always in the awkward position. But in the human form of life, if we are actually taught means trained. That is what we are getting now by reading Bhagavatam, by hearing lectures, Vani, and by associating with devotees. We are learning. You know, when we learn that when there are devotees, we should offer obeisances. We should be learning how to chant. We are learning how to behave. What are the Vaishnava etiquette? So, in the human form of life, if he is taught how to associate with the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his devotee, this position can be overcome. So there are two things here. One is the living entity is in association with material nature. That awkward position means bondage. He's in the bondage. Same like, you know, every Jivatma, it is in the womb. It is in the bondage. It is an awkward position. It is upside down within the womb. When it is taking birth also, it is taking birth upside down. Okay, so head is coming, you know, first. So awkward position means we are in the upside down position in this material world. But now the same problem is stated and the solution is given. But if you are getting human form of life in this material world, and if we get a chance to learn how to associate with the Lord or with his devotee, that means spiritual master or pure Vaishnavas, then this position can be overcome, then we can get easily liberated. That is the main theme. So here Prabhupada is elaborating in the purport. The word Prakriti means material nature. So material nature in English, it is material nature. In Sanskrit, it is called as Prakriti. So Bhagavad Gita is basically discussing about 5 topics: Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, Karma. So Prakriti is one of the important topics and which is very detailed described in chapter 14 of Bhagavad Gita and 17 of Bhagavad Gita. Prakriti, the 3 modes of material nature. And Purusha means refers to Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in the verse actually, Purusha is there and Prakriti is there. Yesha Prakriti Sangena. Yesha Prakriti Sangena means association, and Prakriti means by associating with Prakriti. Purushasya Prayaha. So the Purusha here refers to the Supreme Lord. Because in Bhagavad Gita, the Purusha, the imitating Purusha is the Jivatma, and the original Purusha is the Supreme Lord. Purusha means one who is enjoyer, and Prakriti means one who is enjoyed. So Prabhupada writes that anybody has enjoying mentality, actually he is called as Purusha, and who is enjoyed is called as Prakriti. So actually the original Purusha is the Lord, because the Lord enjoys everything in his creation. And we are actually called as Prakriti because we are to be enjoyed by the Lord. But what happens? We are falsely trying to become the Purusha, which is not actually proper position, not our constitutional position. Like a clerk in the company wants to become the CEO. So like that is our position. Okay, if one wants to continue his association with Prakriti, the female energy of Krishna. So Prakriti is the female energy of Krishna, and be separated from Krishna by illusion. He is able to enjoy Prakriti. He must continue in his conditional life. So the reason for conditional life, we are taking birth again and again in this material world because we are actually associating with the female energy of Krishna. Prakriti means we want to enjoy the material nature. So material nature offers us a lot of sense gratification. So we want to continue our enjoyment. So based on that, Krishna is giving body again and again. But this is bondage. But if he will change his consciousness, so very important is we have to note Krishna consciousness is not external. External is actually we are putting tilak, kantimala, everything. But actually it is said that it is purely internal consciousness. Consciousness is more important. So if he changes his consciousness, however, and associates with the supreme original person, that is called as Purusham Saswatam. Purusham Saswatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajambu. In 10th chapter, Arjuna says about Krishna, Purusham Saswatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajambu. So he is the original person or with his associates. So who are the pure devotees of the Lord, either with the Lord, because now practically we are difficult for us to directly associate with the Lord. So we are either associating with the pure devotees of the Lord or by his holy name. So he can get out of the entanglement of material nature. So the problem is stated and the solution is given. So that is the beauty of our scripture. It is also giving what is our problem, and also it is telling what is the solution, how to overcome or get out of this bondage. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 4.9, Prabhupada gives reports a very famous verse actually. After this verse, which is come Janma Karma Chame Divyam, it comes after Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Glanir Bhavati Bharata. After that 4.7, 4.8, Dharma Samsthapanarthaya Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. 4.8. Then 4.9, Krishna says, when I am Sambhavami Yuge Yuge, whenever I am coming down to establish Dharma and to destroy the Adharma and to protect the sadhus and to kill the miscreants. That time, my Janma, Karma, people think that I am ordinary person, or people think that I am like some kind of mystic person. No, it is not like that. Because now we basically think that Krishna or whatever, all the demigods are on the same platform. That's what we are understanding. Without our scriptural understanding, we normally think that we strongly believe that all gods are same. That's why Krishna is telling, my Janma, my appearance and my activities, karma, are actually very, very divyam, transcendental or spiritual. It is holy. Divyam means it is very auspicious. But who will understand this? Evam yoveti tatvataha. We have to understand that Krishna is actually the Supreme Lord descending into this material world to actually establish Dharma and to protect the devotees and to annihilate the demons. Evam yoveti tatvataha. One who must simply understand the Supreme Person Krishna in terms of his form, name, activities, and pastimes. And what is the benefit? This will keep one and always in association of Krishna. So by doing this, we are chanting. We are actually, when you go to the temple, we are actually getting the darshan of his beautiful form. And we are actually chanting the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So in that way, we are associating with the name of Krishna. And also by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, by reading Srimad Bhagavatam, we are associating with the activities and pastimes of Krishna. So by this form, name, activities, and pastimes, 4 things, this will help us to always keep in association of Krishna. Then what will be the result? If you are always in association of Krishna, Tekta Deham Punarjanma Naiti. So they will actually not take birth again in this material world. Tekta Deham, Deham means body, Punarjanma, again birth. Naiti, they will not take birth. This is Krishna's guarantee in Bhagavad Gita. What will happen to that Jivatma soul? Mameti, so Arjuna. It will go back to Krishna itself. Mameti, so Arjuna. Thus, after giving up his gross material body, one accepts not another gross body, but a spiritual body, which to return home, back to Godhead. So this is the how we get liberated from this entanglement, how the Jivatma gets liberated from the entanglement of this material body and escapes from the cycle of birth and birth. Thus, one ends the tribulation caused by his association with the material energy. So, originally we are entangled by the material energy, and how we get liberated is by associating with the spiritual energy of Krishna, that is form, name, activities, and pastimes. In summary, the living entity is an eternal servant of God, Jivera Swarupaya Krishnera Nityadas. But he comes to the material world and is bound by the material conditions. So, because we come to the material world, we are bound by material conditions. Like we are now in India, we are having our own freedom and liberty. Now we have come here and we are bound by the laws of this country. Like so many laws, sometimes it is comfortable for us, sometimes not comfortable. So like that, when we come to the material world is having its own laws. So the Jivatma is already bound by the material laws, but our original home is actually spiritual world by where we are actually eternal servant of God. So one thing we have to remember, it is when we say eternal servant, it's not like servant. Prabhupada always says it's not like a servant in the material world, where the master is harassing the servant by giving him so much work and not paying him properly. Spiritual world, the servant is happy and the master is happy. Both are happy. That kind of service. That is not like any force or tribulation. Okay. So he comes to the material world and is bound by material conditions. Because why he comes? Because he wants to desire to lord it over the matter. So this is very, very important. This is the basic core foundation of Krishna conscious philosophy. So many people ask, why you are not talking about politics, why you are not talking about so many other things. But the root cause of all our problems here is actually we are in the material world. So material world means always there is danger, there is always uncertainty. Today it is everything is good, tomorrow morning everything will change. So however we do some material solution, it is only temporary. Maybe that solution will last for 1 or 2 days. Then another day, new problem will come. So the root cause is actually because we left our original abode and we are actually entangled in this material world. So we are constantly in anxiety and tormented by troubles and problems. So what is that? Liberation means giving up this false consciousness and reviving one's original service to the Lord. This is a very important point. So we should know that false consciousness means we are thinking I am this body and I am the enjoyer of this world. That is called false consciousness. And reviving one's original service to the Lord means some seva we have to do to the Lord every day. That is our original swarupa. Like chanting the Lord's name is also one of the seva. Offering food to the Lord is also seva. Many sevas are there. Like speaking about the Lord to other person is also one kind of seva. So this is called reviving, means it's already there, dormant, that we have to develop it. Like watering, seed is there, plant is inside the seed. But every time you water, the seed from the seed, the plant is coming out. Like that, the service attitude was already there, dormant. That we have to revive by regularly associating, chanting, hearing. Like that, we have to revive one's original service to the Lord. This will return one's to original life called mukti. Mukti means liberation. As confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam, mukti hitva anyata rupam swarupena vyavastitihi. So this is called as mukti. What is mukti means? We actually reinstate to our original swarupa. So that is called mukti. Very important point. It is Prabhupada mentioned this, that even though we are in the material world, if you are engaged in the service of the Lord, that means already we are liberated. That is called as mukti. No need that we go to the spiritual world also. If you are in the original swarupa, that is service, seva bhav, mukti, hitva, anyata, rupam, swarupena, vyavastitihi. So when we are established in that constitutional position of service, we are already, even though we are in this material body now, we are already considered as we are liberated or we are in mukti. So that's what Prabhupada is mentioning here. That is 6.1.55. The next 56 to 68, actually, this chapter completes by 68 verses. How the Ajamil fell down. So it is going to say about whatever the qualities of Ajamil, 56 and 57, and how what was his actually past life? How did he fall down to this stage? How he sees a man embracing prostitute, and how his lusty desires become awakened, and so like that, how he gives up his wife, how he became very sinful. All these things will be described from from coming 56, next section 56 to 68, how Ajamil fell down from his original Brahmanical standard because of seeing something false association. So that is we'll discuss now. Hare Krishna. Prabhu,
So that is from which verse, Prabhuji? 58 to
next coming verse, Prabhu, 56 to 68. The fall
56.
down of Ajamil. So basically 56 and 57 is going to describe about the qualities of Ajamil. Means how Ajamil was originally having good qualities of Brahmanical qualities. He was well versed in Vedic literature, mild, gentle, truthful. Basically, he was a Brahmana.
Brahmana, yes.
Yeah, so he was Brahmana, has all these Brahmanical qualities he was having. But how he fell down, even though he was in such an elevated position, how he fell down, that is what we are going to discuss up to this 68 verse of fall down of Ajamil. So then we will
by this verse, the Yamaduda's talking is over. I mean,
yes. Yamaduta's talking is over.
Over their reply. Okay.
And now, now actually, now coming down also, now the Yamadutas describe the qualities and sinful life of Ajamil. Yamadutas only continue. They are only describing the qualities of, describe the qualities and the sinful life of Ajamil. They are completely giving the back history.
Okay, so Broji, we'll read one more verse.
Yes, bro. Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Broji. So 56 and 57 together, two verses. That you will finish about. Okay. So, okay, thank you, Broji. So, will Mataji able to read?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. No, Prabhuji.
I will read, Prabhu.
Okay.
Krishna.
Okay.
Krishna 6.1.56 57. I am he through the Sambhanna Shila Vritta Gunalayaha Dridhavrudo Mrudur Dhandha Satyavan Mandra Chuchi Guru Agni Adhidi Vruddhanam Susrusur Anahangrataha Sarvabhuda Suhur Sadhur Mita Vak Anasuyakha. Krishna Prabhu. Krishna translation, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Translation. In the beginning, this Brahmana named AJÂMILA studied all the Vedic literatures. He was a reservoir of good character, good conduct, and good qualities. Firmly established in executing all the Vedic injunctions, he was very mild and gentle, and he kept his mind and senses under control. Furthermore, he was always truthful. He knew how to chant the Vedic mantras, and he was also very pure. AJÂMILA was very respectful to his spiritual master, the fire god Gasta, and the elderly members of his household. Indeed, he was free from false prestige. He was upright, benevolent to all living entities, and well behaved. He would never speak nonsense or envy anyone. Purport. The order carriers of Yamaraja, the Yamadudas, are explaining the factual position of piety and impiety and how a living entity is entangled in this material world. Describing the history of AJÂMILA's life, the Yamadudas relate that in the beginning he was a learned scholar of the Vedic literature. He was well behaved, neat and clean, and very kind to everyone. In fact, he had all good qualities. In other words, he was like a perfect Brahmana. A Brahmana is expected to be perfectly pious, to follow all the regulative principles, and to have all good qualities. The symptoms of piety are explained in these verses. Srila Viraraghava Acharya comments that Drithavruddha means Dritham, Vruddham, Stri Sangha, Rahityatmaka, Brahmacharya Rubam. In other words, AJÂMILA followed the rules and regulations of celibacy as a perfect Brahmachari and was very soft-hearted, truthful, clean, and pure. How he fell down in spite of all these qualities and thus came to be threatened with punishment by Yamaraja will be described in the following verses. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So it is very, very interesting. Like you can see how he is so pure, and he's basically in Sattva-guna, Brahmanical standard. So one lesson we can learn is actually, even though somebody is in this level, still he can fall down. So always Prabhupada used to compare, even in Bhagavad Gita, Vishwamitra Muni and Haridas Thakur, how Vishwamitra Muni, even though he did lot of tapasya, he fell down. When Menaka, right? So he was hearing the ankle bells of Menaka. At the same time, he will compare Haridas Thakur. So unless one is actually fully surrendered to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, it's very difficult to curb the lust. Very difficult. So one time, one devotee asked Prabhupada that, Prabhupada, this lust is very much bothering me. How to control? Prabhupada said it is not possible. The devout disciple, different times Prabhupada answered different ways. This time he answered it is difficult, not possible. Then second day, same disciple approached Prabhupada and asked him, Prabhupada, is how to conquer this lust. Prabhupada said, no, it's not possible. The third time, Prabhupada, again the same disciple asked Prabhupada, actually, how to control. You are not giving me any answer and you are saying always not possible. Then how can I overcome? Then Prabhupada said one word, or two words. He said, Govinda Icha. Govinda Icha means it's actually like Krishna's will.
That's it.
Govinda Icha. Like we say, Inshallah, right? So like that, Govinda Icha. Without Govinda's sanction, the lust will not be removed. That's why you can see Brahmana here, how beautifully, his qualities are described. He was a reservoir of all good character, good conduct. Three things: good character, good conduct, and good qualities. Firmly established, executing all Vedic injunctions. He was very mild, gentle. He kept his mind and senses under control. Always truthful. He knew how to chant Vedic mantras. He was also very pure, not pure, very pure. AJÂMILA was very respectful to spiritual master, fire god, guest, elderly woman. It's like very, very ideal, very ideal. He's like a role model. Indeed, he was free from false prestige. He was upright, benevolent to all living entities and well-behaved. He would never speak nonsense or envy anyone. So, it's such an elevated stage in the Brahminical high standard, but still he fell down. That's called Govinda Icha means, unless, that's why how we get Govinda Icha, when we sincerely practice Krishna consciousness, Krishna will actually remove that lust. It is not, Prabhupada always writes, it is not by our own endeavor we progress in Krishna consciousness. We are only putting some efforts, but ultimately it is devotees, Vaishnava's mercy and Krishna's mercy. That only will help us to progress in Krishna consciousness, not by our efforts. Our efforts is only to attract Krishna's mercy. We are chanting, we are doing arati, we are doing is everything to attract Krishna's mercy only. But ultimately the progress comes only by mercy only. So in order to attract the mercy only we are reading Bhagavatam, we are reciting the mantra, we are doing arati, we are doing upavas. Everything is to attract Krishna's mercy. That's why Prabhupada said it's Govinda Icha. So that we can see practically here. It's not easy. But if you are sincerely taking up the process, then Krishna will actually bless that soul with free from lust. So that is one important point. So in purport, Prabhupada writes here, the order carriers of Yamaraj are called as Yamadutas. The order carriers of Vishnu are called as Vishnudutas. They are explaining the factual position of piety and impiety. Piety, pious and impious. And how a living entity is entangled in this material world. So these are the explaining things by Yamadutas. So they are describing the history of AJÂMIL's life. So they are actually going to the past now, rewinding. Now, because already the AJÂMIL is in the deathbed, So they are actually taking back few years before what has happened. Okay, like past history they are describing. Yamadutas relate that in the beginning, he was alert because Yamadutas, they have a record of all our past life. They have complete. Even in Islam, there is a belief that in the judgment day, there is two angels sitting. One angel is sitting on our right shoulder. One angel is sitting on the left shoulder. And one angel, they record all our good activities. And one angel is recording all our bad activities. So on the judgment day, in Islam, it is said that when God will give the judgment, this angel will tell what are the good activities you did. And the other angel will present what are the bad activities you did. Then God will decide whether to send you to heaven or hell. The same way, Yamadutas also have this record of the Jivatma. What are the activities he did in this life and the previous life? The complete record is there. So that's why here Yamadutas relate in the beginning that he was a learned scholar of Vedic literature and he was well behaved. He was neat and clean. and very kind to everyone. So this is actually describing about the qualities of AJAMILA. In fact, he had all good qualities. In other words, he was like a perfect Brahmana, not normal Brahmana. Perfect Brahmana means ideal Brahmana. But it is never referred as Vaishnava. If he is Vaishnava, he will not fall down. It's like a perfect Brahmana because Vaishnava is above Brahmana. One step above the perfect Brahmana is actually Vaishnava, because perfect Brahmana is in Sattva Guna, Vaishnava is in pure Vaishnava, is actually Suddha Sattva, is above Sattvic platform. In other words, he was like a perfect Brahmana. A Brahmana is expected to be perfectly pious. Brahmana, now also we see, at least the remnants you can see, still the people who are born in the Brahminical family, they will be, like pious people. They will do Gayatri, they will do Sandhya Vandan, they will do, they chant Vishnu Sahasranam, they will go to temples, they will take Sattvic food. Still, we can see the effect is still there, even though many are deviated. But still, there are people who are traditional, they follow all these things. When you go to the Agra, in Tamil Nadu, we have some place called Agraharam. Every place. Agraharam is where these Brahmins are residing there. They are like very neat and clean people in the Agraharam. They maintain all the required piety, standards, everything, to follow all the regulative principles and to have all good qualities. The symptoms of piety are explained in these verses. Okay, now whatever we described in this verse is actually the symptoms of piety. And now gradually coming verses, the impiety also will be described. So both piety and impiety is being described. So Prabhupada refers here, Srila Veera Raghava Acharya comments that Dritavrtaha. Dritavrta means Dhritam Vratam, Stri Sangha, Rahityatmaka, Brahmacharya, Upam. What is Dritavrtam? Means the definition is given. Yes. That is this very following the Brahmacharyam and avoiding the association of worldly minded people or women, like that. So in other words, AJAMIL followed the rules and regulations of celibacy. Brahmacharya means basically celibacy. And what is the purpose of Brahmacharya is to be situated close to Brahman. That's all Brahmacharya. And regulations of celibacy is a perfect Brahmachari. And also is very soft-hearted, truthful, clean and pure. So all the piety qualities. But now it is actually opposite. But he fell down. In spite of so much exalted qualities, the perfect Brahmana, how he fell down in spite of all these qualities, and thus came to be threatened with punishment by Yamaraj. He is not supposed to see Yamaraj or Yamadutas because of these qualities, but he is seeing now Yamadutas, and Yamadutas are describing how he was such an exalted person. He came down to this position. With that suspense, Prabhupada is winding up this verse. So somebody is reading Bhagavatam first time, it will be very much suspense. Like how, such a person, how did he fall down? Of course, we know the story already. But when you read first time Bhagavatam, this will be very much like thrilling or suspense, we can say. With that suspense, Prabhupada is ending this purport. Hare Krishna. So we'll also see that how Jamil fell down, because of what reason. You can see it, that we can see on Saturday. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
If devotees have any questions or comments, we can discuss now. 3-4 minutes there. We can discuss. So this will go up to verse number 68. Can we go to the 68? Yes. And then how we go to the second chapter, that is called AJAMIL, delivered by the Vishnu Dutas. So how the AJAMIL is actually getting delivered by the Vishnu Dutas. Glorification of the holy name and everything will be coming now next. And this is 6.2.
56 to 58 qualities of
Yes, Prabhu. How many qualities are described?
AJAMILA?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 14 qualities are described in this 56 and 57. Total 14 qualities are described. Shruti Sampanna, well versed in Vedic literature.
From 59 to
Sorry, Prabhu.
59 to 68.
58 to 68.
58 to
That is actually how he fell down. That means from next verse, bro. Next verse.
Yeah.
Next verse onwards, he is describing how he fell down.
Nice.
But here, the 14 qualities are described. 56 and 57, 14 qualities of AJÂMILA are described. Never envious. Anusuyaka means never envious. Mitavak means controlled in his speech. Sadhu, well behaved. Sarvabhuta Surt means benevolent to all living entities. Anahankritaha, free from false prestige. Guru Agni Atiti Vardhan Sushushu, respectful to spiritual master, fire god, guest, and elder. Suchihi, very pure. Mantravit, knowledgeable in chanting Vedic mantras. Satyavan, always truthful. Dantaha, controlled in his mind and senses. Mridu, mild and gentle. Dhritavrataha, firmly executing all Vedic injunctions. Silavrata Gunalaya, a reservoir of good character, conduct, and qualities. It's a very nice word. Sila, Shila, Vrita, Gunalaya means a reservoir, good character, conduct, and qualities. And Sruta Sampanna, well versed in all these. Only 14 qualities are described in these two verses.
So by now we have completed 57, 2 verses in this was there. So
Yes, bro. Yes.
56, 57 completed now. So
Yes, bro.
68 it will. Okay.
58 will resume from Sarg.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Welcome, bro.
Krishna. Living Sarvada Mataji.
Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for your association. Unexpected association. Yeah. Yesterday I was actually thinking I asked my Prabhuji also, you also have a like a private sectors also having off. And he told no. Then I thought maybe no, Prabhuji won't be available. But when so this Kanaya Desh Yatra, we confused maybe sometimes Hima Mataji used to log in same Kanaya Desh Yatra. So she's on leave also. Thought maybe she joined from India. Anyway,
first I thought that when Prabhuji started recording, I confirmed it is.
Yeah, yeah, really.
Normally weekdays very less Mataji attendance. 4 5 only.
Today less. I don't know. Today, yesterday also some
Yesterday
days
and today
very less.
The Saturday I see normally 8 to 10 attend. 8 to 10.
Yeah. Average 10 plus.
Anyway, it is benefiting for some people. No problem, Prabhuji. We will continue.
Yes.
Even though
even one soul is benefited, it is
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yesterday
and today invitation also not posted. No, today I did not see.
No, not posted.
I thought maybe today there is no class.
No, this actually, Prabhuji, the same people are actually continuously coming for this one. So nowadays, sometimes Prabhuji is not posting. Anyway, posting also nobody coming.
So that's why I logged in late because there is no